Hello all, this is Satish from CHRP. We are a e-learning company which is switched into AR and VR segment now. Um, I'll take you through the presentation of what we are doing for industrial solutions. So basically, being an e-learning company, we were very curious to find out, what's the next gen technology? How do we train people? How do we offer training solutions to our customers in industrial segment? And in the search, we were using Unity as a platform to develop desktop-based applications. And eventually, we understood that there is a lot more that we can bring using Unity, and we've started building VR-based applications. And that's how we've partnered with Unity Technologies to build a virtual reality excellence center based out of Hyderabad. And also we have partners with HTC Vive for the enterprise solutions. So as a composite solution provider, we provide custom built solutions for industrial customers and also provide a lot of infrastructure related products. So I'll take you through. So today we're talking about oil and gas, where we are just stepped into the process industry, how we are working with oil and gas customers, what are the challenges that they have, and how are we providing them a solution. So there was a fine example given to us when we were meeting a lot of oil and gas companies. Far in the Northeast, I had an opportunity to meet a customer called Numali Ghar, and we were given a use case that there was a fire in a motor spirit unit, which spread out and turned out that the whole of the factory had to be shut down for a month. So they couldn't identify what was the error or what was the readiness of the users out there. Most of them are contractors, people who are not very equipped, and they're not very fluent with the technology or to understand any visual presentations. So they said, can you bring in something that can really excite these users, can engage them? So we brought in virtual reality. We tried to put up a VR demo for them. While doing so, we understood a lot of users have difficulty in using gaming gadgets. So we started bringing in a real fire hose, fire extinguisher, putting it into the VR engine using Unity, and we were able to succeed the use case, and we were offered a contract with the customer. And right now, as we speak, we are developing a solution for them for firefighting in different areas. So as we move ahead, so this is the current scenario of orientation in the industry. That's what's happening in classroom. This has a very low retention. That's where CHRP stepped in and started offering customers more on handheld or wearable technology in VR. So it's not just about being immersive. It's also about having a touch and a feel about the gadget for real. So the challenge was low retention of knowledge, not following safety measures. It's basically a human error that can also cause an accident. So how do we, educate these people about how to handle these equipments? And in a very sensitive area like motor spirit and all, any small mistake can fire up the whole unit. So that's where we tried to build all these handheld gadgets. So this is one of the simulators that we've created for a customer. If you see, there is a fire extinguisher in the hand and a controller. So we were using a controller to replicate a fire extinguisher, but the case becomes very difficult from user to user because they have to understand which of the keys they have to use on the gadget. So as we move ahead, these are the kind of gadgets that we are bringing in. If you see on the top, that's a flamey system that's been designed and developed by an Australian professor. So he is right now developing a whole composite solution for firefighting. So he uses HTC Vive, and he's custom built his fire hose suit, which gives a lot of feedback to the user about the environment that he is in. So it can give you a heat sensing, it can give you various simulations about the environment. And if you see in the bottom, you can see a forklift, that's a simulator, forklift simulator on the on the bottom left-hand side. So that's a simulator which is mobile, which we are trying to build for various vehicle operations. So today we use a lot of vehicles or which are fixed assets. So another challenge for us was when we were working with Toyota Motors, they have a fixed simulator which is very difficult for a user to maneuver and operate. So we try to bring in these kind of wearable gadgets which are very mobile, easy to plug in, and can still give an immersive experience to the user. And lastly, you can see me there. I am on a Omni Virtuix. So that's another gadget that we have plugged into our portfolio. That gadget is usually, when you put a VR gear on, there's a confined space within which you have to you can move, or you can either teleport. So to counter the teleport, we're using Virtuix Omni for the user to really walk in the environment, run in the environment, or jog in the environment. So we have built applications which can work along with these kind of gadgets, and we are trying to offer it to defense forces right now. So we are still in the beta stage. So once we are we are full-fledged with our handheld gadgets for this, we will be bringing in the solution. So what are we trying to achieve by doing all of this is we are trying to give a lot of handheld experience for people to understand gadgets, how these operate. Once you put the virtual gear on, you cannot really interact with a real object. So there are a lot of sensory points. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to build simulators, very small simulators which can give feedback to the users. So using this, we want to build a culture for the users to understand how to identify hazards, operate safely, and also work in very risky environments. I think yeah, pointed it out. Yeah. So the potential for us in AR and VR. Very specifically, we are a very focused company in VR. So we are working for developing a lot of simulations for Industry 4.0, where we are using the existing 3D data of our customer and trying to build simulations or basically industry operations, so that a lot of data can be passed on, and through a dashboard they can control a lot, they can understand what's the usage of the of their or the operational capability. Lastly, our focus for defense industry has been this. These are the mandates that we have, and in the following year, we will be coming up with the solutions along with a lot of gears to add on. So the first to begin is small arms, where we want to help an operator understand how to operate, how to assemble, how to operate small arms, do forensic research for the research teams, restructuring data of the crime scene or a crash site. We have of late seen a lot of accidents that have been happening, and we do not have visual data to support it. So we will be doing a mapping of the complete crash site, and we'll be putting it into Unity so that people can identify, the crash site. A lot of evidences can be collected through that. And we also want to develop urban and other terrains for training tactical teams how to operate in these areas. And search and rescue operations is something that we want to really build on, because that's one of the topics which largely most of the companies are not touching upon. We want to build certain modules which can sensitize the user how to behave, how to identify threats while they're in a hostile terrain, or basically how to identify a lot of scenarios which they cannot do it in a very controlled environment. And also we are talking about field emergency. So that's a very large topic which we are still thinking about how to go about it. And lastly, CBRN, that's another topic. Why we are interested in it is because there are a lot of gadgets to be used in it. So since we are building our ability with bringing in a lot of wearable gadgets, we are trying to talk to these equipment manufacturers who can bring sensors which can work in VR environment. While a user is putting on the VR kit, he can basically understand all the operations of the CBRN equipment's identification. I think. Yeah, that's the closure I have. Thank you so much.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I am thankful